Was there a tiny moment where you thought, oh, there she is?
Oh, for sure. The day that I looked at my husband and I didn't hate him anymore.
Hi, I'm Anne Fulenwider, one of the co-founders and co-CEOs of Alloy Health. And I'm sitting here with Alina, my longtime friend. So gotta say, Alina, menopause looks really good on you. Did you ever think you'd hear that?
No. No, it's funny because, like, again, I said I'm 55 and I don't know. I don't feel old.
And the other reason we wanted to interview Alina is that we knew she would really share the tea.
Yeah, I have no problem telling everyone about my experience, 13 years of perimenopause and menopause that I experienced alone that I don't think anybody else should have to go through. And tune in because, trust me, I will not hold back.
So tell me a little bit about your menopause story, your perimenopause story. When did things sort of start to feel off?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, at least looking back, in my 40s, I had a really stressful job. I had a lot of people reporting to me. And there was a moment where I started to feel really anxious. And I'm not normally an anxious person. I'm pretty even keeled. I can handle stress pretty well. There were days that I would just wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning in a panic. Oh my God, I need to do this, I need to do that, blah, blah, blah. And then I would just wake up super tired. And then my whole day the next day was a mess because I was just exhausted. That was probably one of the first things.
So was it physical? What were things about your body in addition to that?
Definitely, for me, there was a physical part of it because I have always worked out, but I thought I had pulled something. My shoulders were hurting and I swore I must have torn something. So that was one thing. There was also a moment where I literally turned to my husband one evening when I came home and I was like, oh my God, I literally could feel my chest palpitating, like if my heart was here. And he's like, that doesn't sound good. You need to go to CDMD. And I literally went to CDMD because I felt like I was having a heart attack. From there, went to the cardiologist. There was nothing wrong with me, but I still couldn't put my finger on what it was. And even the doctor was like, well, are you stressed? Never a mention of the fact that perhaps I'm going through menopause or perimenopause. It was just very much attributed to something physical as opposed to the reality that I'm in my 40s and this is a natural course of life, right?
How long did you push through before you finally realized I have to do something?
If I really think about it, it was probably 13 years. I thought it was just the stress of work. And I thought it was just the fact that I had 2 small children and a career, that this was just what women did, which is crazy looking back now.
So what did you do? And what made you start to feel better?
So I started to ask around. I obviously asked my personal gynecologist. She sort of was like, well, it is normal. These are the things that you feel. And I'm like, okay, but what do we do about it? Because I cannot feel like this. This is awful. I didn't get any actual help. So I ended up having to talk to you because I knew that you were venturing into women's health. And you basically said to me, talk to one of our doctors, which I did. And luckily they were there for me and offered me to go on birth control pills because I was still getting a period. And that helped, I would say, immediately, within 2 weeks, essentially. And then once my period started to taper off, I was moved over to actual hormone replacement therapy. And after 3 months, I started to feel as if this cloud was just lifted, almost like sunshine. Alloy was there for me. I think that I would have still been looking for answers if it wasn't for Alloy, that really understood what I was going through and didn't even question it. It was more than obvious that I was going through perimenopause.
It wasn't obvious to any of us because we didn't know, right? No one told us.
I always heard older people complain about these aches and pains, and feeling off physically just has such an impact on us mentally. But on top of that, this fog just went away. Now afterwards, I talk to women who are younger and I'm like, don't ignore these things. There is treatment. You don't have to live with this stuff.
So what is genuinely better about your life now than it was before?
I think for me, the ability to go back to that person who I was before I started experiencing perimenopause symptoms, it's just being able to handle things differently. I feel like I have a different outlook. Things just don't affect me the way that they started to affect me at the beginning. I'm 55, but I don't feel 55. My hair feels better. My skin looks good. I just feel like I'm the best version of me. I'm not trying to be 27. Let's be clear. I don't want to go there.
Me neither.
It's not just about whether or not I look good. I just want to be able to have that confidence to go through my day and feel like I can deal with pretty much anything.
What came back first? Was it your energy, your clarity, your confidence? What was it?
For me, the first thing that was that all those physical pains and uncomfortable feelings just started to dissipate. And then little by little, my mood changed. I felt more positive. I just felt like I can do everything that I was normally used to doing, and doing it with a smile and doing it with joy.
Was there a tiny moment where you thought, oh, there she is?
Oh, for sure. The day that I looked at my husband and I didn't hate him anymore. No, but seriously, there was just like this moment where all of a sudden I felt like the people around me were people that I actually wanted to interact with and not run away from. I started to feel like I can have a conversation that was positive, that I wasn't looking at nitpicking like, oh my God, this person's so annoying. It wasn't like it was them, it was me.
Well, I mean, and sometimes it is them, but you feel like you can handle it, right? It's not going to send you into a total tizzy. What has surprised you most around this time of life?
I think the maturity of like not taking things too seriously. When we're younger, we kind of always think about, oh my God, this person is looking at me this way. Oh my God, this person's thinking about me. Like at the end of the day, it's all in our head. And I think that menopause made that more exaggerated.
Yes.
And I definitely feel like even though it was a very tough period, it sort of helped me understand that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. And that has helped me just deal with things in a much more positive way. I feel like my patience has become even more so than it was even before. Like I feel like the best version of myself.
So what would you say to the woman watching who's sort of in the thick of it right now and doesn't know that there's another side that she'll get to or she'll feel this good?
I think that she shouldn't stay silent. Like talk to your friends, like talk to the people around you. I bet you have other friends that are going through the same thing. We have a tendency to just deal with things and not talk about them, especially when it's physical or health related. The more that we talk about this, the more openness there will be for us to accept that there is help. It's not taboo. Thankfully, people are talking about it more, but keep talking. It really makes a difference.
Yeah, I mean, my hope is that no one's going to have to wait like you did for 10 or 13 years, and that no one will get to that really extreme suffering point, and that people will be more aware of this, and so they'll be able to make changes earlier so that they can thrive sooner.
There's other options, there's care, and I think that's the most important, to really be able to have someone acknowledge that what you're feeling is real.